Hello, everyone. Welcome to MyACT, our daily show here at the Cannes Lions, at the heart of the Palais de Festival in the ACT Responsible Hall. And we are so happy today. Sophie, who is co-hosting today with me, I'm Isa Kurata, co-founder of ACT Responsible.
And I'm Sophie, co-founder of ACT Responsible too.
So we have the pleasure to have today with us Sebastian Munden, chair of Ad Zero. Welcome, Sebastian.
Lovely to be here. Lovely to be with you both.
And Jemma Gould, the Chief Sustainability Officer at IPG, quite a big job. Welcome, Jemma, just flying from New York. So welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you for
Happy
being
to be
here. We are so happy to open. It's the 21st, and actually, I think I said the 22nd yesterday in my interview with Phil Thomas that we're going to hear in a second. But is it actually the 21st ACT Responsible exhibition at the Cannes Lions, and the 8th in the Responsibility Hall? And so I had the pleasure yesterday to interview Phil Thomas, who was there, and so we're gonna listen to Phil and to this interview. Jeremy, can you launch Phil? Hi, Phil.
Hi there, Isa. How are you?
I'm good. I'm super excited to do our 22nd exhibition at the Cannes Lions.
Wow, 22. That's amazing.
Yeah.
And we're 70 years old as well this year.
Yeah, so we're babies.
Yeah.
But you opened actually the doors of the ACT Responsible Debussy Hall to ACT 8 years ago, and to welcome the exhibition officially as part of Cannes Lions. What motivated you then?
Well, we've always felt that ACT have been a kind of partner of ours over many, many years. And as you know, and you will remember, you've been in different parts of the Palais over the years. And we just decided that we needed to find you a permanent home. And we just thought this was the most fantastic place for you to be. And I hope you've been happy here, because I think you get lots of people visiting. And it just shows the industry's interest in what you do, which is wonderful.
Yeah, absolutely. The hall is fantastic, and I think, we've grown also because you opened the doors, because you made us very visible. So we're super happy with it. This year we did a little thing a bit different from the other years. Is we actually embarked initiatives and tools that help the industry go more sustainable. I think this is a big step, welcoming it to others, having them others. Do you see the progress of the industry on sustainability?
Yes, I mean, it's been really dramatic in the last few years. If you think about the creation of Ad Zero, who I know are a partner of yours, Ad Green, and the other initiatives across the big holding companies, you can see how important it is to the industry. And I think as we go forward, that will become more and more important. So the measurement of the impact that we have, everything down to if you create a digital ad, what is the impact? What is the impact of media? These are hard things to measure, but I think the whole industry is now taking it very, very seriously. And you were trailblazers many years ago, before everybody else was interested.
Yeah, and I think maybe at the Lions, you also done a lot of progress, and you've been focusing and creating all those great initiatives that we see here on the panel. This year there was a big step also with Ad Zero. What are like the big focuses of the Lions?
We want the Lions to move towards being completely carbon neutral, and that's complex, of course. So the thing we're doing this year is that we're partnering with an organization called Isla, and what they're going to do is take a snapshot of our current footprint, so we know where we're beginning from. But before that, for instance, we offset the flights of all of our jury and all of our staff. We removed all plastic, all single-use plastic many years ago, so there were no plastic bottles. We got rid of 300,000 plastic bottles in 1 year. And then we recycle with Green Bee, who's a local organization here in Cannes. We try and recycle as much as we possibly can. And it's a journey, but we are very serious about moving towards becoming one of the most sustainable, if not the most sustainable events in the world.
Bravo, and I think I took my badge from last year, this year. And
it's all recyclable, every single thing.
Yeah, and we work also with Green Bee creating this exhibition, which those beautiful walls. Do you think, for the industry in general, do you think it is sustainability is a real, it's solid, or do you think at one point the focus might be shift away by something like AI or any other new trend coming up?
I don't think it will move. I think when you think about things like AI, they should be compared to other industry fads like AR or VR or all of these things, and you should look at AI in that context. In terms of the climate emergency, this is, until it is fixed, I do not believe it'll go away. I think there are two things that the industry is very, very focused on. One is DEI, equity, inclusion, fairness, and the industry's moved incredibly far with that. And the second is sustainability. And that's based upon the reality that we all see, which is that we have to act.
You also had other festivals, and do you apply the same things to the other festival? Do you want to be like an example for all the festivals in the world?
Yes, we do. So we run another very large event in the financial services sector. And we learn from both events. So Cannes Lions teaches Money 2020, which is it's a similar size to Cannes Lions, but for financial services. And we teach each other and we learn from each other, the two businesses. And yes, we do want to become the most sustainable event company in the world. That is the vision of what we're trying to achieve.
So you see yourself as precursor on that topic?
We obviously want to learn from other event organizers. In fact, we had a meeting with Mobile World Congress recently, and they've gone a very long way, and they're very happy to share. And I think this is one of the important things about our industry. Our industry is, let's be honest, very competitive. And I just hope that this is the one area where they will genuinely collaborate and help each other, because everybody wins.
Yeah, and I think, of course, for ACT, we've been working with the industry and the big holding companies for years, and we managed to get them to stick and back us and support ACT Responsible. So I think today we can say that they're ready to work together on that focus.
That's really good news. Yeah, because they are quite hard to get aligned behind different things, and it's understandable. It's a very competitive industry. But if we can align them, and that's one thing we see our role as at Cannes Lions, we're neutral. We are a convener of the industry. We bring people together, and hopefully we can play a role in being a good actor to bring all of these very competitive people together.
Thank you, Phil. I wish you have a wonderful festival. Thank you 1 million times for the space that you offer ACT Responsible since 20 years, 22 years now, but 20 years here and 2 years online.
Yes.
And yeah, I wish you a beautiful festival and many great meetings and connections.
Thank you very much, and the same to you. And I don't know if you know this, viewers, but this has been reused because behind here we have last year's exhibition, which is so wonderful. It's so perfect. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. So that was Phil he was yesterday because obviously he's probably running around today. So again, thank you. I forgot to say thank you, just a little thank you to actually the Cannes Lions for all the welcoming that they give us. of course, and we have also great supporters for this, the live show MyACT, who's at Forum, of course, Euronews, Accor, and the media leader who will broadcast who is broadcasting the live all around the world. So thank you. So Seb, we heard Phil talking about like the great partnership that you also have been doing with the Lions and moving the sustainability agenda forward. Do you want to tell us a little bit more about AdNet Zero?
Yeah, absolutely, and thanks for having me on. So AdNet Zero now sort of 3 years old, just about, and our aim is to work with everybody in the industry, from advertisers to agencies, media owners, production houses, ad tech, tech platforms, everybody in the industry to decarbonize our industry. And what I say to people when they say, well, what actually do you do? We work with all the organizations in the industry to change the way we work and change the work we make. What do we mean by that? To decarbonize the advertising process. And we've just announced at this Cannes Lions event that all our supporters have to sign up for sustainable business targets, sort of equivalent to SBTI, which means they have to make a declaration of targets in line with less than 2 degrees warming, ideally closer to 1.5 degrees warming, measure progress every year, and publish it. So we're really making sure that everybody who signs up for AdNet Zero is on the right path for success. We work with hundreds of organizations across the industry, from the biggest to the smallest, but there's room for more. And actually, the main thing we really want to do this year is to get more companies, maybe people who missed out on the first wave, and just say it's never too late. It's never too late to want to decarbonize your business and be a force for good. So when we talk about change the work we make, what we're talking about is advertising's secret power, if you like, in the world, which is to frame and normalize choices. And we want advertising companies across the industry to frame and normalize more sustainable choices at a scale that we've never seen. So this is a kind of death or glory moment, really, for advertising, a chance to really accelerate a sustainable net zero economy, which increases prosperity for people, but also to stabilize the climate for the planet and people. And sometimes it's very hard for people to imagine, what global warming really means in terms of consequences. Just think about the kind of migration of people on a scale that we've not seen, moving away from water-torn areas, moving away from flooding, massive coastal flooding, all those big cities and conurbations based very close to the sea, implications for food. I mean, this is a people crisis that we as an industry need to address. The 5 steps of AdNet Zero make that super practical. So taking it from all the way up here and these consequences for humanity down to what your organization can do today using the 5 actions, get your house in order, advertising production, advertising, the whole media and media distribution, events and awards, and lastly, kind of promoting more sustainable behavior change for citizens. So there's a whole plan. Come in and see us here in the hall if you're nearby, and if you're not, find us on adnetzero.com. We'd love to talk to you.
Well, thank you. That was very complete, because that was my second question. How do we do? Okay, so that's done. Just one precision. How many members do you have today? Because it's quite huge, and I think you embarked a lot of people, and this is a very good sign.
Yes. So, when you take the fact that we launched in the US, and obviously our oldest is in the UK, Ireland, and we have a global group. When you do duplicate all of that, it's getting on for 200 organizations pretty much already. But 200 is not enough, ladies and gentlemen. We will not rest till every last organization in our industry is with us.
Thank you so much, Seb. Sophie, do you want to ask
Jemma something?
something?
Yeah, Jemma, I really want to know how in your organization and how in the industry you can get all the stakeholders to, really commit and really do something.
So great question. So we're working really hard, and it's not easy, I think, is the first thing. And I think so understanding that it's a challenge. And we have to look at, as you said, all of our stakeholders. So starting with our shareholders, right, as a publicly held company, our employees and our clients, and thinking about how sustainability affects each of them and affects our business. So I think, we look at sustainability in much the same way that we look at DE&I. So it's not something that you're doing on the side, but it's actually part of your business objectives, and it has to be part of the way that you do business. So I think if we sort of start from the conception stage and we understand that the advertising that we make, from the script stage, we have to be thinking about sustainability, setting the right example in the advertising we make. I think, Seb, it was you who alluded to that. We have a superpower. I think we have a couple of superpowers. And one is that we do set these standards and norms. I think it was Gloria Steinem who said at one of the IPG breakfasts a few years back that advertising has more power than the church. Which I'm not sure if that's the case, but advertising is so powerful. So I think we not only have a superpower, but we have a responsibility to use that superpower and make sure we're sending out the right messages. And then we have to figure out, the way that we're putting those messages out there, being responsible with those messages, and oh, by the way, still being able to be a profitable business. So it's challenging, but it's looking at the way that we do things, understanding what our impact is, and sort of rethinking everything and looking at it with a lens or through a lens of sustainability.
And in what way do you think our industry can do that?
So I think a couple of ways. First, I think operationally, we look at the way we operate. Right, so we are all, if we're holding companies, we're advertising agencies, we're professional services companies, so we don't operate big factories, so it's not about, fortunately, some of the issues that manufacturing companies have to deal with, but we do, for instance, travel to places like Cannes Lion, but also to be with our clients. So one of the things that IPG has done is to look at our travel policies. We've rewritten them with a sustainability lens. So we know we're still gonna have to travel because we're a professional services company, but we wanna travel smarter, travel lighter, and travel less. So that may mean sending fewer people to a shoot. It may mean traveling premium economy instead of business class, or even coach, if you can. And then it's also about the way that we operate in our offices. So thinking about how we use less energy, how we use cleaner forms of energy. And then, much of the type of work that Ad Net Zero is doing and Ad Green is looking at the way that we produce our work and making sure that we're as sustainable as possible when we do that.
Thank you, Jemma. I think we have a talk later on this week. Do you want to say a word about that?
Oh, sure. Yes. So we have a panel on Thursday, if I'm not mistaken. Wednesday. Oh my goodness. Yes. Okay. Sorry. So you have to check me. Wednesday, 4:15, talking about responsible advertising and sustainability. And we have a number of interesting folks on that panel. We have one of the founders of Scope 3. So Scope 3 is looking at the way in which our media and our media choices impact sustainability. We have one of the creatives from RGA, which is an IPG agency, talking about some of the work they've done around water and sanitation with their client Kimberly Clark. So Kimberly Clark will be there, and Microsoft will be there. It's on their space, and so talking about sustainability in their arena as well.
And it's part of the open house for good that we started last year. I just want to add that because it's a way to remind everyone that the Act Responsible Hall will be open to everyone from 2 to 4, so everyone's welcome to come and then
immediately
to go.
Following,
Immediately go to Microsoft, who's opening again, also to everyone for that talk. So thank you. I think I see Dionna Dorsey from the Creative Ladder, who is our last guest this morning and who was running around the Palais to find us. So welcome, Dionna.
much. Thank you for having me. I'm honored to be here.
We're very happy to have you. So do you want to tell us a little bit about the Creative Ladder and what you do?
Certainly. I am the co-founder and CEO of the Creative Ladder alongside Ryan Reynolds and David Greiner. And our 501c3 nonprofit is here to encourage, celebrate, elevate, inspire, and connect a new inclusive generation of creatives, specifically in advertising and marketing industries. The communities that we focus on are Black, Brown, LGBTQIA+, and neurodivergent creatives.
And how does it work? I mean, I'm very curious. I don't.
Yeah, thank you.
Anything.
We have been doing programs. I think in our first year, actually today, we'll be celebrating our first anniversary a little bit later this afternoon. But officially, tomorrow is our official anniversary from when we launched last year here at Cannes. And since our launching, we've done 19 different programs. We do community virtual events. That way we can include more people globally. We host boot camps, leadership boot camps, as well as we have a mentoring program that we're doing specifically with Deloitte, and online leadership camps as well,
And do you have like something to tell us the first year? What came out of it?
Yeah, well, one of the most exciting things was that we were able to create a career finder quiz, which over 5,000 people have taken at this point, 25,000 people have taken at this point, which is really very exciting. We successfully launched 2 leadership boot camps, one in New York City, one in Atlanta, where we were able to host, I think, a combination of maybe 100 to 110 different folks in both of those cities. And I think the biggest thing is that we've been able to continue. The fact that we made it to our first anniversary, we now have 2 employees, which is really very exciting. To be here, not on our own, is really very exciting. And the most exciting thing I think is that, sadly, I think they normally would have been here with me, but due to travel issues and cancellations and delays, our cohort is not here just yet. But this year, we are bringing a cohort of 8 different Black and Brown creatives from Miami, free of charge. They'll have total access to the Palais, everything on a croissant, and we're just so incredibly excited to be able to lift as we climb, especially in places that are very special, like here at Cannes.
It's actually, when we hear you and we see your smile on your face and everything.
I'm holding back the tears because I get so excited.
It's good to do good. It feels good to do good,
amazing.
Right?
And more than anything, it feels amazing to see the growth in our cohorts and in our the folks that we're able to help. And so I can't wait until they're actually able to land, and just to see their growth from today through Saturday. It's really going to be very special.
Thank you so much, Dionna. We have brought the Creative Ladder. There's a little a wall that I'm seeing right now in the exhibition where you can find and connect to them also. So bravo to David, that we know very well also. And we're very proud to have you in the exhibition this year. And I also wanted to say that we have the Martin Agency presenting some of the tools and great work they're doing. Of course, the AdNet Zero. So thank you to you 3 and 4 with Phil Thomas again for being the first guest of MyACT live from the Palais, our crazy show. Thank you for your patience this morning. It was a first. So yeah, we'll send you everything, and I hope the people who are listening to us learned a little bit more about the great tools that the industry is doing to move the subject of sustainability. Thank you, Soph. See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
Thank you.